Hello friends, and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today, Jerry and I are up here at the entrance to the house and the nursery. We are going to be running irrigation to these nice big Esplanade urns from Unique Stone. We have two of them, one on each side of the gate to kind of welcome our guests to the nursery. So we've had these up here for over a year. But we've never had irrigation on them. Of course, we have irrigation in the beds, but to actually run it to the urns is a whole nother story. Now, that urn would not be a problem at all because it is right beside the bed and we can easily just tap in and run it up. The quote problem is that we need to cross the driveway so that this urn gets that irrigation. So that is what we are going to do today. And then we are going to go ahead and plant these beautiful urns. Yeah, it is July, but you know what? I'm going to put some plants in there and they are going to take off because they are going to be so excited to get out of their little grande containers. And so it's going to be a beautiful display. Not only are we going to have irrigation in these urns, we're going to use some nice little drip tubing that we're going to do in that. But we're also going to go ahead and put the mini aquapot light insert in there because I do not run the irrigation every day up here. And so this will help supplement any water that those annuals need. I am going to be using the mini. So there's two new sizes. There's the mini and the large size. Of course, they have the classic, so it's like a small, medium, and large. This is the small, and it fits perfectly in these Esplanade urns. So I'll show you all about that and how you know if you need a mini or if you need the classic or the large. So we'll talk about all of that. The annuals that we're going to put in. We're going to kind of continue the theme that I have going on here at the entrance because at our mailbox we have the Skyrocket grass, which is, all these are annuals, and Skyrocket is a really lovely green and white stripe, does the little plumes on it. So we've got them all the way around here on the back. This is not on irrigation, my friends, so none of this is on irrigation. And then we have the Surefire red begonias. So what we're going to do is a little, trying to keep some consistency here. We're going to put one of the Skyrocket grasses in the urn along with, we're going to do cherry cordial. So we're not going to do the Surefire red. We're going to do the Surefire cherry cordial, which will have dark, almost like near black leaves. These have been in the greenhouse, so they have not been receiving all of the UV light. That's why they're a little bit more green than black. They'll blacken up here in the next couple of weeks, but they still have those beautiful red flowers. So we're going to put that around them as well. I hear Jerry coming with the trencher. So this is kind of the idea of what we're going to do as I understand it right now. So he has the big bobcat that has the bucket on it. So what he's going to do is move back the gravel right in here because obviously we need to dig a trench, and so but we don't want to lose any of that good expensive gravel. So he's going to move us back as much he's going to move back as much gravel as he can to kind of make this a nice clean area. Then he'll take the trencher that he just came by and showed us on the little bobcat. We will trench a line, and then we have the conduit right here that we will lay down and then run the drip tubing through. So we've got a little bit of a construction project and a little bit of a gardening project, planting, creating some beautiful containers here in July in North Carolina. So we're just going to set the camera up. I am going to be his assistant, and we're going to get all of this part done. And then when it's time to plant the urns, I'll meet you back here and we'll do that together. Okay, my friends, so we got the conduit in, and we are about ready to start running the drip tube up into the Esplanade urns. So let me just kind of recap what we did, give a little explanation of everything. Of course, Jerry moved back the gravel that he could, then took the trencher, got a nice little line in there, trenched, I don't know, maybe it was like 6-8 inches deep. If you're not from the South and you're from somewhere that's really cold, you may think, oh my gosh, that's gonna freeze in the wintertime. Yeah, we're in the South. That we don't have to worry about that. So we were just going deep enough so that we don't have to worry about it getting smushed when trucks run over it. But that was like what, schedule 40, pipe 80? It was 80, schedule 80. So thick, hard, very, very tough. So what we did is we ran a solid line. This is what we use in the greenhouse and things. This is what, a 1/2 inch tube, I think it is, solid pipe, right? And so it was nice and stiff, and so it was easy to send that through the conduit. So what we did is on this side, when Jerry first put the trencher down, it actually it cut the brown tubing that's in there, which actually it didn't matter because we had to cut it anyway. So you can see right here, so the white is coming up, and then we have a T, so then this is all going to run together on the same system. And then right here we have it's not even an emitter because it's not going to restrict the flow. It'll be a solid flow of water coming out, and then that's where we're going to connect the little solid tube that will come out here. We'll bury it, and then we got to kind of take the urns apart, and then we'll lift this up and then run it all the way up, and then we'll have in the little brown drip tubing in that one. So you can see how we have that over here where we've already connected the solid line. And this is actually, y'all, this is the solid line that comes in the Proven Winners Water-Wise irrigation kit. It's an irrigation kit for homeowners to set up drip system for their containers, their baskets, that kind of stuff. This brown tubing that comes with it, this tan, is great stuff. It is solid, and so this is connected just like you saw on the other side, and so we'll just kind of come through here and then run it up. We are going to kind of, quote, extend the bed just a little bit because where the fertilizer can is, that is where the conduit ends, and this little tan tubing goes back there. So this is just for us for right now to know that that's where it is. So we just, instead of having to try to dig through here because this ground is absolutely like concrete right here. So we're like, well, Jerry said, let's just make the bed a little bit bigger and make that part of the bed. And I said, okay, works for me. So that is what we did on that part. So then we'll put some mulch over it, and we'll just have the bed extended just a little bit. So then what we'll do is we'll have to take the urns apart. So we'll have to take this off and then just tilt this back to run the tan tubing up, and then we'll get it all back in there. It'll be interesting because these Esplanade urns are quite heavy. So we'll see how we do that. That'll be interesting. And then once all of that is said and done, I can begin planting and get these guys planted. All right, my friends, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get these planted. So these are the Esplanade urns from Unique Stone, and the mini aquapot is the best fit for this container. As a rule of thumb, when you are using that aquapot insert, you want to have 2/3 of your pot where that soil can be in there. So make sure your aquapot insert is down far enough that you've got plenty of soil in there, because the plants still need lots of soil for that good root development. Now, I've never done this part before, so just bear with me. But Proven Winners is now including a little bright yellow foam water indicator to know when your aquapot is empty or it needs water. So I'm gonna figure out how to do this the best way. So what we do is we stick it down into the hole, right? And I have the water tube is extended as far as it'll go, but you'll see like it's sticking out, I don't know what, 6 inches above the container, which I don't want it that far. So I'm going to try, there we go. That's good. Okay, so I know that if how should we do this, honey? All right, so the aqua pot is empty, it has no water. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it flush as much as I can, right? So when this much of the tip is showing, that means that the aqua pot is empty. All right, so you get your soil and we're going to push it down into that soil tube. You'll notice that I still have my irrigation line. It's just hanging out, and we'll get that at the very end. Get all that soil in there. If your container is wider than your aqua pot insert, don't worry about it. Just get the soil down in there like mine is. So that way you have soil all nice and snug in there. We're just gonna pack it in. So right now, that's plenty. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my fertilizers in and go ahead and get everybody planted. Of course, we always use biotone. Continuous release fertilizer. You can even go ahead, take that out for right now. I don't have my little scooper. So we're just gonna pour some down in there. Give that a little zhuzh. All right, so what I'm gonna do is, you can see that this grass is desperately ready to get out of this pot. So if you have a case like this, you want to just go ahead and basically rip these roots right off, okay? You're not hurting the plant, I promise. You can come in here, take that off. Now, this is what we call a root-bound plant, right? It has been in this container since February, desperately ready to get out of here. So if you have your knife or you've got your Felcos, we're just gonna come through and we're gonna score the roots. We do that because we want the roots to start going out instead of continuing to circle the plant. If you have a razor blade, whatever it is you have, you can get out all your aggressions on this, and we're gonna really tease those roots. There we go. Get them open. You don't want to destroy the plant, but you do want to get those roots starting to look for some other sources of food and nutrition. Now, the idea is I'm going to basically kind of put this more like in the center and the back. So I'm going to have Jerry help me make sure that's in the center. Well, the plant's crooked, but not good. All right. So we're going to have to add more soil in here, but at least I have the grass right there for now. All right, so we're just gonna come in with the cherry cordial, and these two just could be, stick your thumbs in there. Their roots are not as tough as the grasses, and y'all, these are really tall. So what I'm gonna do is after I plant them, I'm probably gonna go ahead and give them a little trim, right? Get them nice and stocky, get them in here. All right, I don't know if you can see me or not, but what I'm gonna do is go ahead and prune my tallest begonias, and I'm just gonna take, I'm not gonna go crazy on them, but I am gonna take some of that height off just to really kind of make sure that they have a nice shape to them and that they will not have so much plant to support as they begin their new journey here in the urns right here. So it's not the most attractive container right now. Just give it about a week and it will absolutely go nuts. So now what we're gonna do is because we've got our irrigation. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that. Let's see where I want to cut it. Let's cut it here. Cut it down kind of low, and then I have a T that I'm gonna put in here that will then attach to my little tiny brown drip tubing. All right, y'all, so we have got, everything is filled. The insert is filled. We've watered the container, but I'm just gonna be flat out honest with you. I don't want bright yellow sticking out, so this is gonna live in the John Deere with me. And as I ride by, if I wanna check it, I will check it. I'm not leaving that in there because it's not the most attractive thing. And then the blue. So you do not have to have the little blue flower on top. That just will pop off, unscrew, one of the two, it unscrews. So now this way, it's a whole lot less noticeable that you have anything here, especially once all this grows, you won't be able to see any of that. So I'll hold on to this, and this will go into Johnny. So we've got the skyrocket grass, and we've got 3 of the cherry cordials in there, nice and watered. So what we're gonna do is head over to the other one. It's in the full sun, so I'm gonna plant it, and then I'll meet you back here and show you everything. All right, my friends, we are done for today. The project is complete. I think we are just as wet as the soil is in the containers. It's July in North Carolina. I mean, it's July. What else are you gonna say? It's hot and sticky, but it feels great to get this done. That means that these 2 pots are on irrigation. They are running, they are happy, and they are dripping. This is the one that you can see, the irrigation is still exposed, so you can see how it is dripping. So if you can see that, drip, drip, drip. So got the T in there, got it just a nice closed circuit, so everybody's in there, dripping down in there. These are about, I don't know, is that 6 inches, 8 inches that they are apart, the emitters. And so just getting in there and getting that soil even more wet. Now, the soil is nice and wet. We had 7.5 gallons of water between the 2 of them. So filling up the aquapot inserts, and then making sure that they are nice and saturated before the irrigation even got turned on was key. You want to make sure that all of your soil is completely soaked all the way through. But I am going to run it just for, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes or so, because the flower bed needs the irrigation, and it certainly is not going to hurt these to get a little bit more water. Now, I am fully aware that these are not like magazine worthy yet. Give me 4 weeks and I guarantee you they will be huge, they will be beautiful, they will be stunning, they will be just massive and flowing, and people are like, oh my gosh, what is that? So don't be afraid to take those plants, especially when you can get them on sale. I know that all of these plants at the nursery were on sale, like 50% off, and then it was just crazy. So you can get a cheap container. You just have to be patient with it. Give it a couple of weeks with some food, some water, and they will give you tons of enjoyment and lots of big show for really until we hit a hard freeze. So just having that one little grass in there, that one little grass is going to turn into a big grass. And then of course having the cherry cordial in there as well. Surefire cherry cordial begonia. But yes, it feels great to have this done. And then if you look at the gravel, you really cannot even tell that we have been here and that Jerry trenched a line through here. So that is fantastic. Also, those of you that are very observant and very studious, you might have noticed that I was using a different potting soil. So this is called Grower's Gold. It is a potting mix. It is from Sungrow, which is the parent company that makes the Proven Winners potting soil. They make the Black Gold. They are great, great manufacturers of all things growing, right? Of potting mix. And if you're familiar of this part of the world, I am not, but this blend was actually made for the cannabis industry. And so it has core, peat moss, perlite, silicone to resist the wilting. It provides superior moisture retention. Y'all, it is great potting soil. We've actually used this in several of our containers this year. We just didn't tell you that we were using that because like in the urns on the front porch, on one I used the Proven Winners and then one I used the Grower's Gold. I dare say the one with Growers Gold is starting to maybe outperform the other one. I used it in a trough container in the forest pansy bed. Plants are doing great because Jerry was reading, not that we're getting into the cannabis industry, that is not what I'm saying, but I am saying good soil is good soil, no matter what the intended use is for it. And so it so far has been working really, really well. And Jerry was reading somewhere and it said that no matter what you use it for, but I guess the cannabis plants are very particular and they are fussy, and so you have to have really, really good soil to grow a healthy plant. And so if you can use one of those for your annuals, then go for it. So again, we're just testing this out, playing with it, seeing how well it works. But so far, I've been happy with how the results have come, and there really does hold a lot of the moisture, which up here, again, is a big deal. I know there's irrigation. Y'all, I don't run this irrigation every single day. This is a bed that has been established. So like I run this irrigation like once a week, maybe twice a week if it gets in the heat of the summer with no rain. So again, I'm not running this every day or multiple times a day, right? So I do need all the help I can get for these annuals, because as soon as that grass takes off and those begonias take off, they are going to fill up that entire container with their root system. So I need to retain as much moisture as I possibly can in those containers. So having fun with the Growers Gold. We'll let you know how that turns out. And of course, we'll keep you updated on how these containers are doing as well. I think we might go get some lunch together. We talked about it. We might have to change clothes first because we are soaked in these clothes. But as always, if you have found this fun, informative, or inspirational, we would love it if you would like and subscribe to Gardening with Creekside. That way you don't miss those 5 videos that we do each and every week. Even in the middle of July, we still bring you 5 videos a week. We sweat for you, my friends. Y'all have an amazing day. Stay cool. Drink your water. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.